Here we go. Got the stream up. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Gonna play some games and see if we can continue our winning streak from last week. I'm getting to where it's hard. Getting to where it's difficult to face tougher players as your rating goes up. Well, we'll do Rui Lopez. I could go back to playing an Italian game too. See how they respond to that. This is weird. It's like a delayed Schliemann. See, if you bring the knight out to defend the pawn, then the bishop can't easily retreat. So we'll defend the pawn with a pawn. And then get castled here. If he wants to take, I can... actually, I can't do that. Okay, but I can defend here. He takes, I take. Okay, I'm just making a little space for my bishop to come back and support this. Well, let's see what he intends to do about the check. He intends to run. Well, now there's an idea here. Knight here, queen over here, threatening mate, but not with the knight there. I could start with the bishop. Yeah, I wonder. I take, he takes, I go here, he takes my queen. Yeah, I don't have enough force to mate, although I do have a clever knight to here, defended by the bishop, would win the exchange. But yeah, it's not happening. Let's just kick his bishop. Oh, he doesn't want to trade. Okay, then maybe I can keep my bishop. But I can't get the knight here with tempo because his queen and bishop are lined up like so, yeah. Okay, so I think I want to unpin right away. Although it's not necessary. It's now easier to... it's easier to get a knight on this square. I think I'm going to move this knight away, move the other knight up. Yeah, I'll go here. Okay, I guess I have to defend that pawn. Don't really want to play f3, but I'm not seeing an alternative here. The knight can go up to this square. Yeah, black has played an interesting game here. Okay, he's looking at these two squares with his knight. Let's see, I guess I can put my bishop back here since he moved his knight away. Let's see, knight here to one of these squares. Might be good. Okay, he's maybe thinking of a sacrifice here. So if I move the knight away, and he takes with the knight, I take with the pawn to win a piece. He takes with the bishop, I take with the knight, he takes with the rook. And it's like, yeah, I don't think that's a good sacrifice. Anyway, I'm going here to this square. I could go here to attack his bishop, but the bishop, I don't think it's all that useful in that square, so might as well leave it there, huh? And he's trying to calculate. Let's see. So he wants to push my bishop back. Could go here, try and keep on the same diagonal, but he'll just play his pawn here. Let's keep the bishop for now. Knight here is next. I could play pawn up and then put my bishop back there. But let's maneuver the knights. The knights are a bit out of play. So a knight here would be a fork. That would be good. Yeah, and he has neglected to play c6 and played c5 instead. That's very interesting. So fork coming. And he ignores it. Yeah, so he's just thinking about the attack and not thinking about problems in his position. So I don't see any alternative, but the queen has to move. But for the queen move, I guess he has to move the queen somewhere where I don't attack it with the other knight. I should be pretty safe on f7. Here. Let's just go ahead and take this. Just take it. Now, I'm going to put the bishop back there. He really seems to be annoyed by that bishop. So then this time the bishop can go to this square. So I can get out to where I'm more active. And I'm not even going to bother to move it this time. Got enough of an advantage. I don't have to be careful about keeping the bishop. So he didn't take it. That's interesting. He's going to sideline the bishop. Okay, I'm going to put a rook here, and maybe a rook here even, and then push this pawn to drive his rook away. I will immediately unpin. Don't like to have my rook pinned. Okay, so rook here, or just pawn up. If I do pawn up, he'll have 3 attackers and I have 2 defenders. So yeah, rook here first. I mean, well, I should have counted the pawn defending already. So yeah, that was maybe an unnecessary move. And black should not be trading like this. It's so anyway. Oh yeah, when I push this pawn forward, I'll be down to the 3 pieces here. Okay, so he wants to attack that pawn. Let's defend it. Yeah, I can bring my king out now too, to bring my king up to defend. And he has a light squared bishop, and I have a dark squared knight, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. Dark squared knight, that makes no sense. Okay, yeah, if I take it, he can take back, exploiting the pin. So we'll go here. He can put his knight here, huh? Let's see if he wants a draw. Is he going to repeat? No, he's going to sacrifice his knight. Was that a free rook when I played queen takes d5? Let's look at that. It's, I don't see it. I mean, he's attacking my rook, so... Oh, after I take, he could take the rook. Yes, I see what you mean. He could definitely run the rook there. And then we're back to... it's a little bit dangerous, huh? I think that's mating. I mean, he can block the mate, but I can take the piece that blocks. Yeah, that's a mate in 2. Okay, so he can't take the rook. Anyway, good thought. I did miss that. Totally missed that. So good thing to be aware of. But it was too dangerous to take. I suppose I could have played it safe and taken with the bishop too. I mean, taken with the pawn. But then he could gang up on my pawn. What do I stand? I'm just up the exchange here. But he's about to get a pawn back. So, computer thinks, yeah, queen takes is best. E takes is second best. Okay. Improving knight. To e3, yeah. Okay, let's get another game here. Well, start off on a good foot there. I'm white again. Can I make 1800? That's the question. Okay, play a queen's pawn opening, and he plays d6. Oh, he could be going for a King's Indian. Yes, he is. So I'll do my usual fianchetto response to that. And he plays this typical setup here. Let's go ahead and castle first. Yeah, I don't quite understand the point of that one. Getting rid of his knight. I mean, getting rid of his bishop. But maybe this is a closed structure where knights are better than bishops, so that's his plan. I'll go ahead and play with e4. I don't usually do that, but maybe I can get away with it this time. Now I could take here with the knight. You don't usually get a chance to do that because this pawn is left undefended, but I've got the bishop here now after that exchange. That pawn is well defended. And the idea is to keep this line open and make this a backwards pawn. Of course, he can put his knight here and drag my queen away. Anyway, I'm going to retreat the bishop, push this pawn up, and then put this bishop up. I think I'll just put the... okay, I have to pause and defend that pawn. I think I can just put the bishop here directly. I don't need to push this pawn because his queen went, I mean his knight went to the other side of the board instead of going here to chase my queen. And there's not much pressure on this long diagonal, though maybe there's some tricks. Maybe there are some tricks with the pushed pawn here. Who knows? But yeah, now that I've moved the bishop out of the way, I can bring this rook over. And his knight here is on the wrong side of the board as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's coming back. But now, is he going to be able to defend this pawn? I'm also attacking this pawn. But it wasn't so safe to take it, right? Because he could have pushed here and blocked my bishop in. But this pawn is safe to take. Yeah, his knight can go there. Shouldn't I just take it? Should I just take it? It would have opposite colored bishops, so that might be irritating. Let's double my rooks. Double your pleasure. I mean, if I'm worried about this knight, I can always push a pawn to get him to move. You could go here, here, or here, or here. And he went there anyway. So now he's looking at these two squares. I will take it if he hops in here. If I push this pawn, he can just take it, I guess. And I can pin his knight. And take it with the light squared bishop, and then we don't have the opposite squared bishops. And my one pawn advantage will be, yeah, queen side pawn majority. It should be winning in the end game. Yeah, so he defended the knight. I can take it anyway. Just go for the end game. So if I bring my rook down here, I guess he will defend with his rook. How? I think I can win another pawn here. He has to move his knight to defend this pawn, or his rook, and then I can go here. And he can bring his king over, but I can take. Bring his king up, I can go over. So he runs. Okay, yeah, he can run, but then he loses this pawn. So let's force this pawn to do something. Or not. Okay. I think black lost the thread there. So he's going to bring his bishop here to attack this pawn. Here, let's put my rook. Rooks belong behind passed pawns. Let's put my rook behind the pawn. Okay, so I can attack his bishop and then move my rook here. Okay, we'll go here first. Now, okay, he just wants to keep my rook out of this square. Okay, he just wants to go there. That's all right. Man, I'm trying to calculate this. I'm not very good at calculating, but can go here, keep his rook pinned in. I can go here with check. Then I can take the bishop and then push here. So this is going to be a killer fork. The rook stops this pawn. Yeah, he resigned. Okay, 1790s. Now we get the counterattacks. What's he going to play? An Italian game? Ruy Lopez? A Scotch game? Something else. I think I'll put my jacket on. The Italian game. Yeah, that's a good game. That's a good way to play. Getting a little chilly here. Okay. So, well, I was experimenting with the two knights defense. Yeah, so do I want to continue on with I mean, one way of playing is to just develop your bishop and ignore this threat here. It's called the Wilkes-Barre variation, or the has another name, the Traxler variation. But the main line is actually to push. He takes, and then you move the knight. Yeah, attacking his bishop. Let's do that. This is a pawn sacrifice, but it does lead to decent play for black. That's the way I play it. You pin the pawn. But what happens if you attack the queen? I guess he takes it. He takes it is what happens. I forget what the book response is. It could just unpin. We could maybe look this up afterwards. It's an interesting position. So his rook is loose there. His knight is loose there. My knight is a bit exposed, but it can retreat. Yeah, my knight's loose too. I kind of want to develop the dark squared bishop. So let's bring this out. And when the knight retreats, it defends the bishop. Can he play the fork? Now I've got my knight on that square and the bishop on that square, so I can take it. Just got to watch out for the fork. So yeah, if I can castle and get my rook behind this pawn, it still doesn't work. Pawn push, he takes, I take, he takes. I get a pinned piece. Okay, so he is setting up the pin. Let's move the knight back. This pawn is loose. I undefended that pawn when I moved the knight. So I did something wrong here. Let's defend that pawn. It's going to take my rook pawn, huh? I'm going to castle. Yes, he can do that. And then I have this skewer here, so he's got to do something. Maybe take the knight. Oh, I didn't see that. If I throw in the check and he retreats, does that help me? Let's throw in the check first. Bishop here attacks his rook, and bishop here wins it if I chase this knight away. I have to take the bishop first. Yeah, it doesn't win it because he'll be able to push this pawn, block the bishop, or push this pawn. But now I have bishop here hitting his queen. In fact, that might have even been better than taking the bishop. Because a moment ago, yeah, I could have just played bishop here. Well, no, it's just a bishop that I win in the end, right? Let's go to the end. What did he play? He played the knight out. Ah, the knight out defends his bishop, which is interesting. So knight here attacks this pawn. He castles. Bishop here pins the knight. You get very active piece play with this opening, so that's your compensation. I really expected him to take the knight. Damaged my kingside structure here. So if he moves the knight to unpin, moves the rook to unpin the knight. Yes, I was going to take it and then put my bishop here. So he played this pawn here. So let's kick the knight. Has no good retreats now. Ah, he can go there. Should have taken this knight first and then kicked his knight. Yep. Take. Well, he has to take back with the knight, so I get the rook in the corner. There was a way to exploit this pin one way or another, I guess. So 3 pieces to 2 pieces. Yeah, I'm a piece up now. Because he won the exchange, but then I won a whole rook. He might trap my bishop, and that would kind of level it. And he has extra pawns. He has extra pawns. I was going to try and pin this knight here, but he can take it. He didn't do that. Okay, let's take here. Or which way should I take? He takes my rook and, bishop, and then I take another pawn. And I can add more force to this by putting my knight here. It's a kind of fork because this is pinned. This is, after it gets traded, I can take here. So he defends there. Let's just keep adding more force then. Oh, now he can take. Now he can take. I went to the wrong square. Now he can take. Let's see. So this is check, though. That was kind of a lucky escape. And I can take here and trade queens. And I'm still a rook up. Alrighty, that's a good one. And 1797. Nice recovery. Oh, let's stop. Oh, shoot. I meant to go back and look. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Okay, let's play a Sicilian. I meant to go back and look at that opening again, so I'll try and remember to do it after this game. Okay, yeah, so this is the delayed Bowdler attack. He did waste a move moving his bishop. I'm not sure why he did that. It was actually fine there where it was. Now I can trap the bishop, right? Yeah, so he sacrifices a piece to try and get some play. Oh, he's going to lose a piece anyway, so I guess I don't know if you really call that a sacrifice. This knight is pinned, so yeah, he can apply the pressure on the knight. I'm going to get castled, which will unpin. I can bring a rook over to defend. Have to be careful he doesn't put a pawn here. So I guess that's the way to do it. I can check with my bishop here. So he decided to take. So if I go here with the knight and he pushes, I can go here with the knight. And then castle. He does have two pawns for the piece. So not at all a hopeless game. Yeah. There was a discovery with the bishop attacking his rook, and then a discovered attack on his queen, but he moved the rook. Now, at this point, what should I do? Got my king to safety. I want to play f6. Undermine these central pawns here, but he takes, I take, and then he takes this pawn. And that gives him like a third pawn. That's pretty annoying. Can I get my bishop to a better position? Well, if the bishop were here, it would be defending this pawn. That would be at least a slight help. So let's move the knight here. Put the, and then the bishop here, and then push this pawn. And then I can come out to g6, I guess, hitting the bishop. Okay, now I could play f6 or f5. f5 is interesting because it shuts down that diagonal. But do I ever have a way to get a knight to this square? Knight would go here. He decided to take anyway. Okay. I decided to take again. A knight there, okay. So if I bring the knight here, he takes, and I take, and he wins a pawn. So let's not do that. If I push this pawn, he can drop his knight in here. So what should I do? I should develop my queen, probably. If I had the queen out here, the knight's still defending the bishop. And maybe move the rook over here and drop the bishop back. I can bring the knight out now. The knight was needed to defend the bishop, but now I can bring it out. And then he can decide whether he wants to trade this knight or aha, so he goes there. My idea was to take the knight. He's kind of forcing me to do it. Okay. So let's go queen here. How about? So now this pawn is protected from the front. Okay, he can put the queen here, huh? Let's prevent that. See if he wants to defend this pawn now. He does. So I get a check. And I can use that to get over to this side. What else? I kind of want to get to this square and attack this pawn. I could go here, I guess, and attack that pawn. And I still have a check. You know, if I could get my rook to a light square. Well, anyway, I can check and take the pawn. I'll do that. Okay, so we're going to go here. Just opening up a diagonal for my bishop. So if I go here, there's a double attack on his queen and his rook. He takes the rook, but he could take the bishop. So I need my queen here, I guess, or rook here. Yes, he was carefully calculating that. And let's put my queen here then. Or here. Now there doesn't work and there doesn't work. I want to keep the queen active, I guess. Oh, queen here would have worked, because I could take the... well, now queen there works. Yeah, let's get rid of the queen and then check here. Yeah, he was just having a bad day. I think players at that level are usually stronger. I did it though. Let's go to my profile here and look at, I got up over 1800. Yeah, 1803 in Blitz. Does that show up on, well, the number doesn't show up, but you can see from the graph my rating recovery. See, I was up here around 1800 in this part. And then I just suffered this terrible crash, and I stayed down there for a long time. And now I'm working my way back. Okay, so yeah, I was going to look at the previous game, because that was a two knights defense. I think they called that the Coleman variation, huh? So if we step through this, this is a step through this again. Yeah, this is the fried liver attack. And this is the main line. You push this pawn, and then you move the knight. So you sacrifice the pawn, but it stops this attack here. And then you can block the bishop, and then he can pin it. So this is the Bugolyubov variation, this is the way I knew it. And now what's the best move in this situation? This is tricky. Let's go to the analysis board. Best move is, and it's rated at about even, either bishop e7 or h6. And bishop e7, after thinking, bishop e7 is best. Wow. So rook b8 is actually the second choice. So it wasn't horrible what I played. But bishop e7 going here. I mean, this is a weakness here. You know, I'm still not really threatening to take this pawn, I don't think. But anyway, it says this is a good time for the bishop to retreat. I mean, pawn takes bishop is met by queen takes rook. And then I have probably castle. So what's another choice besides bishop d3? Bishop takes c6. Oh yeah, you can actually take that pawn. Whoa, what happens if you take? You can defend. So you're actually two pawns down, but you have a lot of development. And how about if simply defending this pawn with bishop b7? Not so good. Bishop a4, retreat. Yeah, because you're really threatening to take that bishop now. Is the best retreat, and then bishop e7. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I could actually play any of those lines, but it's good to know. Oh, I also wanted to check. So the way I played it was like the computer's second choice here. And then it recommends retreating the bishop. And then I played bishop c5. So I should have gone bishop here, protect this guy. And it's about even. When I played here, I'm losing another pawn, which I didn't intend. Yeah, this pawn is all loose, and I was losing one pawn or another. So, and this is all good for white. I should have defended the center pawn or castled. Yeah, and when I played here, this is actually winning for white. He won a very important pawn there. Okay, anyway. Interesting. Let's go back and get a new opponent. Ahad, will you take the first move? Very nice rise. Yes, thank you. So we can do a French this time. We did a Sicilian. We did a E4, E5. The French advanced variation. So this is a simple, easy to remember sequence to play because you just put pressure on this center pawn here. And then they're going to keep defending it. Sometimes they don't defend it, hoping you'll fall for a little trick or a trap, but they're keeping this pawn defended, which is fine. What should I do? Here, let's go ahead and take. See how he wants to take back. And then maybe push the f-pawn. That's why developing the bishop here is important. It defends the e-pawn, so you can push the f-pawn. So the knight can go here, hitting my queen, and then drop into this square. True. So I'll take back here with my knight. And get castled. Gives me an open f-file. Okay, this is defended. It is the piece that defends here, but I don't want to take it and have him get a pawn here. Although put my knight. Where could I put my knight? That's the thing. I don't have a good place to put my knight. Oh. Now I do. I could take it and drop my knight back to here. Because a pawn on this square, although it's controlling some squares in my camp, it's also keeping the e-pawn defended by preventing him from attacking it, helping to defend the e-pawn. So it's not an unwelcome development. And then this is a passed pawn that can maybe cause trouble. So he should probably take the bishop. I could push this pawn then. No, I can't because this is going. Ah, so he's going in there. That's weird. Why would you do that? This is taken. This is taken. I mean, I can just kick it back, right? It's not attacking this. These squares are still guarded. So he's just got to retreat, yeah. I'm attacking this once. You know, I could put my knight here and my bishop here and double up the pressure on the this pawn. He didn't put pressure on my backwards e-pawn. That's usually the key to abusing this setup. So now I'm threatening to take here, and I will. See, he could have put the bishop here to attack this pawn. So now he's attacking it with the queen. I take, he takes. Everything's defended. Or if I push, he takes. Well, you know, he takes with check. This is a check. That's kind of annoying. But yeah, like I said, everything's defended. He could bring the rook over here, but not right away. Let's take with the bishop. Just step aside with my king if he takes here. Bishop defends the knight. If I could, I've got 3 pieces on this square. If I could get his king to a light square, I could push this pawn and do a discovered attack here. Don't want to do that, but I may not have a choice, huh? Yeah, I can't move my bishop, really. So he's going to get a pawn here. Now what? If I push here, it's kind of annoying. This is under attack. I guess I have to push. Now I opened up a line for the bishop here. Now move your king to h1. That's your best move here. He should take the pawn. He's not one for taking advice, eh? Maybe you can do something clever with that knight. Well, my queen will be exposed there. Okay. So where should I move the queen? Oh, I have to keep the queen in touch with the pawn. And hope that this doesn't do anything. Undiscovered check here. Yeah, I don't think that does anything. And this pawn push is check. Oh, he's going to take the bishop. I see. I can take with a pawn, defending my knight. I can push this pawn with check. Okay, I guess he's going to, well, if he takes the pawn with the bishop, then I mate him. He might be looking at some kind of mate here. If I leave these, yeah, if I leave the rook here, if I move the rook from this location, then he's got the mate. But he moved his queen away. Okay, so I can trade queens, and then take the bishop, and then take the pawn. I could take this bishop with my rook, and his queen is hanging. You can't take the rook because there's a threat. There's a bishop on it. So the queen will take the queen, and then I can take with the rook. Does this work? Because he doesn't have a mate here yet. He can move this knight with check. I take, and then he could check me here. He discovered it. Yeah, he can check me here, but he had to sacrifice a piece to do that. So it's effectively 2 pieces for a rook. And if he ever takes my rook, then it's mate. So he's still got to take the queen, I think. See, like right now, if he takes that rook and bishop takes pawn, it's checkmate. Maybe he's hoping I'll run out of time, too. He resigned. All right. Nice one. I just moved the bishop out of the way. Yeah. That was my first response, too, my first instinct. But well, in this situation, I have to do something about my queen hanging. And I realized if I just took his queen, he takes back with the bishop, and I don't really have very much. I guess let's go to the analysis board. I could have taken the queen, he takes, and then I could play here, hitting the bishop and hitting this pawn. He goes back, and then I went a pawn. So, but I think the way I played it was stronger. Let's see, what does the computer say? What's the best move here, computer? Yeah, rook takes f3 is number 1. Yeah, that's a good trick to know. Queen can't take it because the bishop is protecting the square. And if the queen takes, which is probably best, then you just lose that piece because the rook takes back and gets the rook out of hock. So he found a clever way. I mean, you have to also make sure that there's no one way for white to extricate himself from a situation like this is to move the queen with check and then take the rook. But as we saw, he can never actually take the rook. But he did well to find this clever technique of moving the queen with check. So even now it's saying that he should okay, yeah, just take it and then move my rook somewhere. So I'm 2 pieces up. Okay, well, let's get another game then. Long as we're doing well, and I have a little bit of time left here. Back to e4. Does he play e5 against everything? How about we play the Scotch, since I didn't play. I played the Ruy Lopez already. Play the Scotch Gambit. Now, is there a fried liver attack here? Just go after that pawn. Let's castle first. And get rid of this pawn. So we're just going for active play with our pieces. He takes, I'll take back with the knight. And knight here, he can castle. So pawn here, he takes. Oh, you pin the knight first, right? So he can't castle right away. He's got to do something about that pin, or not, or not. So I would just unpin my knight so that I can move it out here. Give me your bishop, please. So now I'm threatening to take the knight. Ah, okay, he gets the bishop back. That was good. That was good. So yeah, he somehow equalized here. Maybe we can look at this after the game, see what I did wrong, because it shouldn't have been so easy to equalize. Gonna push this pawn. So where should I go with my queen? Maybe here? Or back here, keeping on this diagonal? I'm not sure. Now I attack the knight. Well, actually I can pull back here. See if he wants to further weaken his pawns over here. So I think I have the threat of e5. Go here, he takes, I take. It's defended by the rook, and this is pinned. Oh, but then he could play g5. Take, take. Well, it's not bad. It'd be better if I had more pieces. Okay, he unpinned, so he's just going to move the knight when I push. He went that way. Ah. I was expecting him to come here and attack my pawn. I could push this once more. He takes. Then bring my queen over. Let's move the knight, though. If he takes this pawn, I'll take his bishop, so he's got to move the bishop. Ah, he moved it there. That's good, that's good. Now, what do I do? Move the knight here, attacking his rook, so if he takes... he can take with the rook. Okay, I can push, and then he can take with the queen or the rook. Yeah, okay, and then the check here, he takes with the knight. I guess this is my best bet, huh? But it's not, it doesn't seem like it's working. Now, do I take with the pawn, maybe? I could check first. I really wasn't expecting that. But I've got two pieces here, and he can distract one of them. Ah, now I can now I can take with the pawn and hold it. He's got two pieces attacking, and if he trades rooks, I can take back with the queen. But he is a piece up. How did I lose a piece? I forget. So maybe he has to give a piece back here, because I am threatening mate. Oh, it's not mate. It's not mate right away, huh? It's close to mate. Where is he going? He goes here, and then I go here. I think it is mate. Yeah, I think that is mate. Okay, well, I'm going to end on that happy note. That was an interesting game. And my rating is still above 1800, so I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Let's go back to Twitch and see who's streaming here.